Hi guys, HT Movies here. Today I will show you a horror thriller movie from 2011, titled Megan is Missing. The movie is based on a true story in 2009. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Based on the actual events, the movie sets off with two girls introducing themselves in the camera. The preface gives us the backstory where on January 14, 2007, a 14-year-old girl named Megan Stewart went missing, and 3 weeks later, her close friend Amy Herman also vanished. It's the 2nd of January, 2007 where Megan and Amy sit in a restaurant. They record themselves and talk around while Megan jokes about Amy's virginity and how she hasn't even made out. Amy gets sensitive for a moment, but Megan waves it away and lightens the mood. On January 4th, Megan talks to her friend Angie on a video call and they discuss what Tercel has been providing for Angie. In the interim, Angie's boyfriend named Gideon pops up in the webcam, and as they tease each other, Megan's mother barges in her room and starts lashing out on her. As they indulge in a heated row, her friends laugh at her misery and Megan returns back to call Amy, who asks about her condition, but Megan excuses it away. It's the 5th of January. Amy prepares for school while her father comes in and asks to take her to a kid's place for her birthday party. Amy's father finds it pretty odd to go in there as she's 13 now. In the meantime, her mother also enters the room and they discuss the birthday plans. On the other hand, Megan and her friends call a guy named Ben who hosts night parties. The girls ask about the scenario while Ben becomes extra flirty with them as the ladies talk to him. Megan asks permission to let Amy come, upon which Ben remarks that she is a party pooper. Nevertheless, Megan stands her ground and deliberately insists upon letting her come, otherwise she'll not join either. With no choice, Ben gives in and the scene shifts to the party house where the girls enter by giving $10 each as an entry. The Megan group also arrives and Ben ushers them inside cheerfully. Inside the dark and lowly lit house, the teenagers hitting away at the savagely. Drugs, dances and everything is on fleek. Megan and her friends smoke the blunt, while Amy he sits among them uncomfortably. On the other hand, then enters the party and swivels amidst the girls and reaches up to Megan and whispered something in her ear before taking her away. After she leaves, Amy walks in the living room where she becomes a victim of a brawl. She hurts her head. Gideon, Angie's boyfriend, approached her and starts harassing her. Amy can't take it and she resists, upon which Gideon smashes her heart right across the face. Completely disoriented, she makes her way through the people and stumbles into a room where she watches Megan sucking Ben missiles. She startles instantly and closes the door on Amy. After that, Ben molesting and abusing Megan in every way possible. Downstairs, the party goes berserk as the girl snorts lines and the cameraman forces Lexi and her friend to make out. As they cling onto each other, Lexi gets vomited upon her head by Amy. The whole place clamors in disgust while Amy completely wasted. Later, the best friends call each other and Amy apologizes to Megan. Furthermore, she gets interested in Megan's acts and it's revealed that she gave her first BJ when she was 10 years old. At the summer camp she got in with the counselor and the whole thing went down. As she explains the whole adventure, Megan's mom angrily snatches away her phone and finds Amy on the screen. After a brief sigh, she returns it and orders her to sleep. Megan becomes sad as her mom shouts at her and the call ends. It's Amy's birthday on January 10th. Upon getting Amy's new video camera, Megan shares her miserable life story as her real dad is unknown while her stepfather is in prison, who raped her continuously when she was 9 years old. Without her mom's support, she's been through hell, but during all this, tears drop from her eyes and Amy proceeds to console her. On January 13th, Megan talks to Lexi, who introduces another guy named Josh. Josh is supposedly a skater and his profile name is Skater Dude. Lexi seems profoundly interested in him and Megan gets his picture as well as other info. On the other hand, Amy begins making her video diary where she introduces herself and proceeds with a tour of her stuffed toys in her house. Furthermore, she checks in with her mother Louise Herman, and walks outside to the yard where she further elaborates the occasion spent there. Meanwhile, Megan connects with the Skater Dude on the online chat room and it's known that his webcam has been broken. Josh flirts with Megan and manages to convince her to come meet him at the party later tonight. Megan happily agrees as the guy becomes obsessive with her. After ending the call, she immediately lays out her party clothes and calls Amy to tell her everything. As she leaves for the party, Amy begins her video diary once again and melancholy states that she doesn't even know if she's going to get a guy. It's January 14th now. Amy calls Megan, who groggily wakes up from her sleep and states that the jerk wasn't even there at the party and she looked for him for 4 hours. Upon that, Amy asks her out for a movie and Megan accepts. Later, she wakes up and connects with Josh and complains to him, but Josh clearly says that he was present there. Furthermore, he describes the exact apparel that Megan was wearing. Upon hearing about his timidness, Megan melts down and agrees to meet him behind a diner. Beaming with joy, Megan calls Amy and tells her about Josh's sensitivity and shyness in sheer excitement. In the meantime, they meet and proceeded to Megan's room, where Amy gets introduced to Josh. After their basic recognition, Amy leaves while Megan prepares to meet him in 20 minutes. The next day, Amy calls each and every one of Megan's friends and inquires about her whereabouts, but they don't show any concern. She even connects with Josh. However, Josh said that if I hadn't met Megan that day and I couldn't even contact her until now, Amy became increasingly confused. On the 17th of January, the news of Megan's abduction and missing flash around the TV. The news anchor speaks highly of Megan, as the star student of the school is now missing with no leads or knowledge. The principal speaks generously about her wonderful character, while her fake friends also show their concern in front of the camera. On the 19th of January, the news approaches a massive lead as the security camera footage from the diner is obtained. We witness Megan walking behind the diner and encountering an unidentifiable guy who drags her away. It's the 20th of January now. Amy connects with Josh once again and confronts him with Megan's abduction. Josh denies it, and instead of consoling her, he starts manipulating Amy and bumps her insecurities to such an extent that she gets annoyed and cuts the call. Days pass on, and on the 29th, Amy comes forward to the press and gives Josh's name away to the authorities and links it to the abduction. On the 31st of January, Amy recording her diary and walking over to the diner where Megan's friends arrive and start bullying her. Amy leaves the place in nervousness and walks over to a bridge where she and Megan used to hide away from the people. Amy places the camera on the side and talks about the old times. She then retrieves her beloved discarded teddy bear from behind the wall. As Amy speaks, a silhouette of a man appears behind her who stands at a distance and silently observes her. On the 1st of February, Amy connects with Josh once again, who threatens her for opening her mouth. Innocently, Amy apologizes to him, but the guy becomes ruthless and keeps throwing ultimatums at her. The following day, the news broadcast a reenactment of Megan's abduction. The actors going through the same act as the CCTV clip, and the girl gets dragged away into a car. On March 4, 2007, the FBI received 2 horrifyingly disturbing images of Megan being tortured gruesomely on a fetish website. Flashback to the 4th of February, Amy sits under the bridge once again and talks about how 3 weeks has passed, but just as she's talking, a man lunges at her and the scene fades out. The news of Amy's abduction now starts featuring the broadcasts as well, and on the 6th of February, various campaigns being run for the search of the missing teenagers. The people of the community share their services in moral support in favor of the victims. Then the police began investigating the scene of Amy's disappearance, and they found Amy's camera dumped in the trash. They also found an apparition of someone approaching Amy. Even worse, the police found a recording on Amy's camera with a duration of 22 minutes. In the footage, we witness Amy shackled in a dingy space. She whines and cries in front of her captor to let her go free, but the unhuman guy mercilessly closes the door on her. After the fade out, Josh takes the camera back to Amy's locker and orders her to eat the shittiest food. Amy scoops up in the corner and doesn't budge. In order to make her eat the shit, he takes out her beloved teddy bear from the storage and uses it to force her into eating the sludge like a dog. Amy follows the order in sheer pain and horror, and at last he finally gives her the stuffed bear. Preceding another blackout, the evil monster dragging Amy out of her cave, and bringing her to the wooden torture machine where the barbarian rapes the poor soul. As the beast pounds against her, Amy goes numb while experiencing the excruciating pain. After his completion, Josh shackles her in the chains again. After a while, the camera turns back on and Josh frees Amy from the fetters. Afterwards, he walks her towards a barrel and asks her to get inside, but upon lifting the lid, the horror is revealed as Megan's corpse sits in the drum. Amy shrieks and gets back and starts whimpering in terror, but the monster bears no mercy and he forces her inside the drum and closes it until she's stuck inside. We witness Josh digging out a grave for the barrel while Amy endlessly pleads for mercy and begs for the safety of her life. But the devil bears no ear and buries her alive under the ground until Amy's helpless screams die out. The movie then comes to an end with the lasting scenes of Megan and Amy, who joke around and sit together to arrive at the conclusion that one day they'll find the right man for themselves. Unfortunately, luck was never on their side. Hopefully this can be a lesson for all of us to always be vigilant, especially for young women. Do not overdo the men you just know from social media. Always take care of yourself and stop doing strange things. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more video like this. Thanks for watching this video until the end, and see you in the next video.